The LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith altercation started a bunch of conversations from different NBA players and the media in general. And some people are justifying LeBron's actions as to confronting Stephen A. during a timeout in the third quarter against the Knicks. And now Dwayne Wade and Carmelo Anthony give their take on the whole situation on Carmelo's podcast. And in terms of NBA players, these two are the closest to Bron and are best friends with each other. But at the same time, they acknowledge that some of this was LeBron's own doing. This is what they had to say about the situation.
Wade, your thoughts on this wild situation? Although the world is dying to hear what y'all got to say about this.
He's the guest, man. Come on. He's on the couch, man.
I have a personal relationship with Stephen A. Obviously, my relationship with Bron and my relationship with Bron is documented.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And I have a relationship with Stephen A. as well. And so we talk. You know what I mean? I'm not talking out of school. Me and him text back and forth about the situation. And just, to be candid and honest, I told him, it's dual sides once again. I mean, I think you understand both sides if you're that person who wants to understand both sides. I told him, as a father, I'm walking up on you.
Right.
I get it, because I'm like that too. Like I'm at you.
Of course.
But also, what I told him, I said, and I think we've never seen LeBron do that. We've never seen, LeBron don't even go back at players that foul him too hard on the court. We've never seen him be, he's always been just even keel and level headed in every aspect. And sometimes you want him to jump. Sometimes you want him to go, and he won't. And so to watch the clip and watch him on that bench and see Stephen A. over there, he couldn't take it. He couldn't take it.
I mean,
he could not stand it.
They got the memo. Yo, Stephen A. He coming tonight. He coming to the game tonight.
He knew it, because he saw him in warm up when he walked in. You know what I mean? But it was burning him. But I told him, I said, Stephen A., I think the one thing is, and first of all, I take it as that's a sign of respect that LeBron did that to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know
he knows the power of Stephen A.'s voice.
He understands
also.
that. And I told him, I said, and that's the thing. Your microphone is the loudest. Your platform is the biggest. And also, you're a black man.
Yeah.
And I said, so you got to understand, where he's coming from with that. If he even approached you, because yes, the Skip Bayless of the world and all these guys have said things about him his entire career, and he's been above it. He stayed quiet above it and did his thing. And so that meant something. That's respect right there for everything you built. We know Stephen A. from Quite Frankly. We know Stephen A. when he was on the come up. And so that's respect. But also too, it's a touchy situation, because we've never seen this before. We've never seen this before when it comes to son, father. What do you say? What don't you say? In that aspect. So I don't know if it's a right answer, but I would have walked up on him and said something too.
I think there's no right answer here. There's no right answer here,
no,
right?
Because answer.
At first, if you're Stephen A., bro, you're doing, at the end of the day, Stephen A. is doing what Stephen A. is supposed to do. He's doing his job. The moment, and all credit to him. Stephen A. has never said anything about Bronny up until he became a Laker. Didn't say anything about him when he was in high school. Didn't say about him in USC. Didn't say nothing about him through any of that stuff. So now when you in the situation where your peers are people I talk about and talk to every single day, it's his job to, critique him as an athlete. But at the same time, we're all fathers here, right?
That's the thing you gotta understand.
You want to say that you do the right thing in a situation, but I'm sure we've all been in a situation where you are liable to crash out over your kid, no matter
I've done
what it is.
I've crashed out over mine. I will continue to crash out over mine, right or wrong. I'm crashing out over mine,
right or wrong, and
because you see your kid
exactly.
You see how it affects them.
You don't see a teammate.
Yeah, you don't see that. So Bron was like Stephen A. said, that was a father.
Yeah,
that was point blank period a father that that he knows his son. He knows if it has affected his son in any way. They have conversations in their household. That was strictly a father. That was not LeBron James, one of the greatest players we've ever seen. That was strictly a dad. And from a dad perspective, I'm at you. But from the perspective of you doing your job, you're not wrong for doing your job at all. The way that Stephen A. does his job, that's who he is. In a sense of everything he said, he did not talk about him in high school. He did not go see him in high school. He did not talk about him in college. He did none of those things. And two, Bron is my guy, but Bron did put some extra heat on Bronny.
Yeah.
When Bron put out that tweet about him, he better than these cats in the NBA.
That was my thing.
He started the media. They checked that. They was like, oh, okay,
right.
And so they waiting on something.
So Stephen A. was on Gil's Arena, and Stephen A. saw the clip of Richard Jefferson and LeBron talking, where I think you can make out LeBron saying I don't care what he says about me, but when he said, I'm coming to you as a father, that's when he was like, all right. And then Stephen A. responded oh, so it was about you. It wasn't about Bronny.
There is a fine line of I am a father. but you can't separate the fact that he is your teammate as well. You get what I'm saying? And he's in this league to be critiqued. I just think this has been a build-up. We're talking 22 years. Like, this ain't got nothing to do with Bronny. It's just the fact that Bronny is a part of the conversation now, and he also got to protect his seed. You get what I'm saying? You got to protect the kingdom, no matter how old a nigga is. Like, he's Bronny. That's my dad. So Bron got to protect that. But there's also energy with those two and those crews. It's just as from over the years of just build up. This ain't no love relationship that we talk. This ain't no love friendship that we talk about. They
don't have a friendship,
right? So this is it is what it is in a sense, right? This just Stephen A. doing what he's supposed to do over the years. Bron doing what he's doing over the years, and this is what happens. Some might get misconstrued. I might not like what you say. I might not like with you. I ain't gonna deal with you. But the fact that I think the energy is because we dealing with two juggernauts in their respective fields, right? Bron being who he is, Stephen A. being who he is. A lot of people don't know that history between those two. The only thing people know is what Stephen A. may say or what he may not say. Bron has never spoken on any situation with Stephen A. So if I'm sitting there for 20 plus years and I'm just taking all of this information, all that you've said to me is about me over the years, now my son is the trigger. No matter what you said about him, that's the trigger. If you ain't saying nothing right, if you ain't standing up for him, that's the trigger. Whether anybody like it or not.
I think
I think Stephen A. handled it the right way in that situation, because somebody else who may not know LeBron, right, that's in the media space, could have took that totally the wrong way and reacted differently and replied differently. Facts. So it'd have been a bigger spectacle. The fact that Stephen A. understands what this is really about. Okay, I'm in a situation. I got so-and-so right here. I got so-and-so right here. Nah, I just signed 100. We ain't doing. All right, go ahead, champ. You got it.
Yeah.
You got it. I got to swallow my pride right now, but you.
I mean, what was he supposed to? Ain't nobody fighting.
Nobody fighting. But also, I can't even go back at you. I got to leave it alone. For sure. I got to just listen to you. Yeah. Because any wrong thing, anything that I say can trigger something else.
Yeah.
So we just got to leave that situation alone.
But here's the thing. Bronny needs criticism.
Yes.
We all need some form of criticism. Yeah. I think when it came from the way Stephen A. came, he was talking about LeBron as a father, but he was talking about Bronny at the same time. It felt personal.
Yeah.
And I think it was the way that he said it. If you watching that and you LeBron, it came on personal to you, and even though Stephen A.
enough is enough.
Yeah, and it just boiled up. You saw he was on the bench sitting there. He looked to the side a couple times, and
I think Knicks was still up at that point.
Now, like Stephen A. said, he could have got him out the game. He could have said, "I want to talk to you after the game." He could have walked up to him and said, "I want to talk to you later." But that wasn't calculated.
You know why? Because the where we at today in society, culturally, just where we at, you got to stand on what you say.
LeBron has earned the right to approach members of media because everybody knows his demeanor. And he's not going to go too far, but at the same time, what kind of tone does this set? Anytime an NBA player sees a media member that just bashed them courtside, can now confront and see if they have that same energy face to face. I mean, this is the second time Stephen A. got confronted sitting courtside. The first time was with Kyrie, when Stephen A. was always bashing him for his actions. And he asked him if he had that same energy. Obviously, two completely different scenarios, but at the same time, to Stephen A.'s defense, it's not like he attacked Bronny personally. And I think Bron was just heated that he knew it was about him and Stephen A, but Bronny was in the mix of things. Let me know what you guys think. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on any NBA news.